All right. So Mackenzie Gore, I mean, Pap, what is, what did you see in that situation? And we absolutely loved your tweet about the whole Mackenzie Gore, Nick Senzel fighting the dugout. I mean, I had a front row seat to that. I was playing first base for the Phillies that day, so I appreciate that. But what did you see in that play? Because we find out later these two dudes are golfing buddies.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that. Well, that just goes to show you, look, man, like we're brothers, man, and brothers get into it. And um, you know, like for me, if I could have gone back in time and done that better, I would have just said, "Hey, Bryce, can you meet me in the dugout? I got a few things I need to discuss with you." And then, therefore, none of that would have been on TV. And when I saw this happen, like deja vu kind of hit in, and I was like, "Oh God, no, boys, take it down to this tunnel, man." So, yeah, and that's the thing about baseball is there's so many games throughout a season, and you're always on edge, man. And sometimes when the fights break out, you just don't need the public to know about it because, look, trust me, this is going to be the same thing, just like myself and Bryce. And I've told y'all this before, man. Like, I root for probably Bryce more than anybody now in the game. And man, like, there's no hard feelings. It was something that happened, and I truly believe that these guys will probably be golfing again soon. And man, that's what happens. It's what happens in baseball. You guys know that.
Hey, you know what? Mackenzie Gore did learn something from you, though. So he did take some of your advice. He went for the push instead of for the full choke hold right away, right? So at least he learned that from you. He pushed them away before they had words. You just went full like WWE, I'm going to just choke you.
Yeah, I went for the Undertaker method, but when you're in those moments, AJ, you know just what you've been in altercations, man. It's just
Of course.
the shit hits the fan, man, and you're
And it
like,
happens fast, too.
are
It
we?
happens quick.
Yeah, and it happens real quick, and and then after it's all said and done, most of the time, guys will sit down after the game, have a beer together, and hang out and talk it out and say, hey, man, like let's fix this shit.
All right, talking about fixing stuff on the field. Did you see the old beanball war when Judgy got hit in the hand and then Glaber got hit? Did you feel like they hit Henderson on purpose? And would you have, or would you have needed your manager to tell you? Because when you're in the game, it's a close game. The runs matter when Pap's in the game.
Yeah, there's many situations where, yeah, there was the game was on the line, and I did drill people. But I think from a perspective of a player now, it's probably a little bit different. Like, so for example, here's an example. So when I was playing, uh, Red Sox had enough of Manny Ramirez and his shenanigans, and Tito was done with Manny. And so we're playing the White Sox. I don't know, AJ, were you on the White Sox at this time with Manny?
Oh, I was there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they bring me in to hit Manny, to drill Manny. I think I missed him like 3 times in a row, and I kept trying and I kept trying. And finally, I think I just grazed him. But I knew why I was coming in the game. I knew that, Tito didn't have to say, hey, drill Manny. Like, I knew that's what he brought me into the game for. But nowadays, I don't know. Like, are players even like, do you think he hit him on purpose?
No.
Do you think there was retaliation from the Orioles the other night, and that was on purpose?
I do.
You do?
Which one? The Judge one?
No. When
He's saying
when the
When Gunner got hit,
Gonzalez,
the only one that
Orioles-
looked fishy to me.
Gonzalez hit Henderson.
That's the only one
Yeah,
that looked
so-
fishy to me.
So to me, like, I know you're trying to drill the guy, but I mean, at that point, like, I don't care if those are accidents or not. You got two of my guys, and like that was the same thing I had to say with, is like, if you get two of my guys, I don't care if it's on accident. We got to get one back. Like, that's how we used to play. But nowadays there's warnings and violations and all kind of other shit. So it's hard to say for me.
When would that ever stop you? Warnings, violations, that never stop you.
No.
No, I hope
You
not.
got to be.
I would
You
lose
got
all
to think
respect
more
for
about
you.
it.
Yeah, I mean, like, Like, look, at the end of the day, if and Max Scherzer, and here's another example is Max Scherzer came out of the game one time in the seventh when I was with the Nationals, and they had like drilled three of our guys, whether it was an accident or not. But I came in and a close game and drilled somebody just because, like, I was like, no, we can't have that and take this into tomorrow. Like, let's get this over with. We're gonna get one. We'll call it done. And then after the game, Scherzer came up to me and was like, "Hey, look, man, I appreciate that. That's my fucking like that's on me, dude. Like, you should not have to come in and do my job because before I was departed from that game, I should have gotten it. It should have been done with." So the starting pitchers understand it too.
Yeah, it's a good call. Hey, before we get to our locks, just one follow-up because a lot of people are asking about the Bryce situation and comparing it to the Nats dugout situation. So what's the aftermath, right? Like, because we don't get that. So do Gore and Senzel have a little chit chat? Does the team make them do that? Does one person apologize to the other? And does it affect the relationship? So I know you can't tell us exactly what those two are doing, but for you, what happened afterward? Was there apology? And like you said, you root for him as much as anyone. Does Bryce, like, is Bryce still pissed about it? Or if you saw him and if you have seen him recently, it's like, hey, dude, yeah, like that was a long time ago. It's all good.
Yeah, we're tight. We're tight now. Like this, it was done is done. But for me, it was a little bit different. So number one, we had a manager, Matt Williams, who was literally had zero control over the team. Literally, the day I got traded over there, the guy on the microphone on the bus was like, getting out. I can't say who this was, but getting out on the manager and how shitty he was. And immediately then and there, I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I came over here. The manager has no control over this team. Like, this is not good. This is not a good situation at all. So, lo and behold, the season goes along. We fall apart. Nobody's hustling. Nobody gives a shit. Everybody hates Matt Williams as our manager. And, the shit hits the fan. And, we had team meetings about, we're a game or two out. Let's start hustling. And, nobody started hustling. And my whole thing was I don't give a shit what y'all do when anybody else is out there. But if I'm in the game and the game's on the line, like, let's fucking go, right? And so made a long story short, that didn't happen. I blew a gasket, went Undertaker on Bryce. And then after the game was over, I actually got in the Traveler's secretary's office, called up and was like, we're the owners. Where's the general manager? We're having a team meeting. And I like now, like, as soon as this game's over, not the manager, nobody else was like, hey, we need to talk about this. So I gathered everybody in the clubhouse, literally. And it was the owner, the little nerdy owner. What's his name? Jewish guy, real estate. What is the owner? I forget.
Lerner. It's the Lerner family. They're still
Learners, isn't it?
Yeah, so they've had it for years.
Yeah. So this guy literally would had a locker in the clubhouse and he would dress out for BP, like the owner would. And I was like, what is going on here, dude? Like, this is nuts. So I called him in, I called Rizzo in, Matt Williams, and the rest of the team. And I said, all right, guys, all right. First off, I apologize, right? Like, I shouldn't have let that shit happen on the field. Like, we look like shit doing that, but I thought we were all in agreement that we were going to start hustling. We were going to start playing the right way. I mean, for God's sakes, we're playing the Phillies, who are way out of it. Kratz is at first base, and we should be kicking their ass, and we're not. And I don't know what else to do but say I'm sorry. And if anybody else has anything else to say in this meeting right now, please do. Please do. Because I should not be having to say, I knew Matt Williams was getting fired, but I should not be the one that has to start this meeting and do what the manager should be doing and calling this meeting. So I called him out too, because I knew he was getting fired. And then, about 30 seconds of silence, and nobody said a word. Everybody just departed their separate ways. And it was just the oddest thing ever player ownership meeting I've ever been a part of. And it was just almost like, all right, we give up. Screw this. They They fined me, I think, right under $500,000 for the rest of the season with no pay, and I didn't get to finish the season out. So obviously, I sent in a grievance. End up having to go to court in New York with the Players Association against Rizzo and the Nationals to get my 400 so grand back. And then after that, I got with Jason Worth, who was kind of the team leader at the time for the players, for the infield and outfield. And I said, hey, look, man, let's smooth this over. Just get with Bryce. Bryce looked up to Worth a lot. And so now we're good, but just the most awkward like meeting you could ever look. And I'm looking like directly in Rizzo's eyes and Matt Williams' eyes. I'm like, should we say anything? Like, what is going on here? But lo and behold, like 2 years later, Rizzo came up to me and he was like, damn it, Pap, I wish I had 10 of you because we could have won. And, it just, I don't know, man. It was really awkward.
That's really good, though. I mean, to get really inside what was going on there. Also, it's funny, we started the show by talking about paying your managers, like paying your coaches. It makes a huge difference when you have a dude that was, not in control. And also, I didn't know the grievance. Damn, they were trying to hit you hard in the wallet. Holy shit.
Yeah, the little learner guy that wore the uniform that thought he was cool and because he owned the Nats decided that he hated me and I'm going to suspend. Rizzo did not want to suspend me at all because Bryce didn't even get suspended at all. He finished the season with pay. But Mike Rizzo and I we had a great relationship and we still do. But he had no control over what this came from the owners. The owners was like, screw this guy. And then the next year they brought me back because Rizzo went to bat for me and was like, listen, like, we got to build a team that's going to like fight and push against the Phillies and the Mets and these other teams and not just, cower down like every national team before that did. And so he brought me back, but it just never was the same,
Yeah, no, that's good stuff on how that all works.